Good evening. Welcome to this presentation on the Lewisham Local Plan. This is to support a public consultation on the main issues and preferred approaches document. We'll be running through a short presentation right now, just providing you with a bit of a background about the local plan and why we are preparing a new one. This session will be particularly helpful for those who are attending our series of online events. It helps to set out the context for the local plan, and that will be quite informative before we dive into the discussions on the individual policy topic areas that are included within the plan or the neighborhood area strategies. About the Lewisham Local Plan. The local plan provides a strategy for the council and its partners to direct investment across Lewisham over the long term. It starts out with a vision for the future of the borough, along with some key strategic objectives, which reflect the main strategy for investment. The council is not the only stakeholder involved in planning for the future of the borough. We work proactively and positively with our many partners to secure investment that benefits our neighborhoods and communities. This includes, for instance, the NHS, working with the Mayor of London and Transport for London on strategic infrastructure, as well as utilities providers, anything from electricity and gas to water infrastructure and wastewater. On top of a strategy for the council and its partners, the local plan also includes planning policies and guidelines used to determine planning applications. It's quite important to note at this early stage of the public consultation, everyone is invited to help shape and influence the future of the plan. It's a good opportunity at this early stage to have your say on how you want the future of your local area to develop. At the planning application stage, there's often less scope for public influence because the policies have already been fixed. That's not to say that the public can't participate and get involved in that stage, but now is really the opportunity to help shape the policies for the future going forward. The local plan does not just sit by itself. It sits within a hierarchy of planning policy documents. At the top of that is the National Planning Policy Framework, which is prepared by the government and regularly reviewed and revised. This sets out the overarching policies for planning across the country and also sets out guidance and policies for how Lewisham, as a local planning authority, needs to prepare its local plan. Sitting below the National Planning Policy Framework is the London Plan, which is prepared by the Mayor of London. The Lewisham Local Plan must be in general conformity with the policies in the London Plan. This will be tested at the plan's independent examination in due course. Where the Lewisham Local Plan is not in general conformity with the London Plan, the council will not be in a position to adopt it. So it's quite vital that we follow in line with the overall strategy for the London Plan. Working in partner with the Lewisham Local Plan are neighborhood plans. These are prepared by community groups called forums, which are formally designated by the council. And these forums then go on to prepare plans for their local area. The neighborhood plans must be in conformity with the strategic policies contained within the Lewisham Local Plan. So there is a sequencing of policies, but together they ensure the plans are speaking to one another and there's a coordination between them. The London Plan, the Lewisham Local Plan, and the neighborhood plans together form Lewisham's development plan. Now, both the council and the Mayor of London and even the government will prepare planning guidance to help support the policies. And there's a number of planning guidance documents, many of which the council has prepared and is continuing to update. Our current local plan is comprised of 4 documents. The main document is the core strategy, and it was adopted by the council in 2011. It is supported by the development management, site allocations, and Lewisham Town Centre plans. These plans have been very successful in helping the borough to realize improvements in its many local neighborhoods, and it's helped the council to set clear expectations for developers about what is expected in different parts of the borough and on individual sites. But we recognize that there is a new London plan due to come into force soon, and national planning policy has changed since the core strategy was adopted. It's therefore necessary to review and update these plans, and we are doing this now through the local plan, bringing the 4 documents together into a single consolidated document. It's important just for everyone to understand a little bit about the London plan and how it sets the overall framework for what we are doing through the local plan. As we mentioned previously, the London plan is prepared by the Mayor of London, and there's been several iterations as different mayors have come into position. The latest London plan, the new London plan, is a full replacement London plan prepared by Sadiq Khan and his team, and it's due to come into force soon. This sets out key areas for growth and regeneration across the capital, and importantly includes a housing target for Lewisham. The new London plan proposes an annual housing target for the borough of 1,667 homes per year. This is up 20% from the current target. This means that there's significant expectations on the borough to help facilitate growth and development, not only in homes, but businesses, jobs, the facilities, and all the infrastructure that supports this growth in homes. But that's not to say the local plan cannot influence things within the borough. Some of the things that we can address through our new local plan include, but are not limited to, local area strategies, the housing mix that we would like to see in different areas or across the borough. This includes mix on affordable housing, and delivering genuinely affordable housing is a key priority for the council. We can set out our expectations in respect of design, whether that's building heights and density or development that is designed to a sustainable standard, so that we're contributing to meeting our objectives around the global climate emergency. We can also influence how we want the future of our employment areas and high streets to develop. And as well, we can set out key priorities for investment in our open spaces, public realm, and other elements of the borough, including cycle paths, footways, etc. There are a number of reasons that we are preparing a new local plan, and we already set out before that one of the main reasons is to ensure our local plan is up to date. That means it's consistent with national planning policy and in conformity with regional planning policy set out in the London plan, but also just to make sure that the plan is reflecting the aspirations of our communities right now. Things do change over time, and we need to respond to this. It's quite critical that the local plan plays a role in supporting the recovery from COVID-19 and the public health pandemic. This is continuing to affect our communities, and we need to be on the front foot in terms of the response, providing help for those who need it in the immediate term, but also looking ahead over the long term, particularly in terms of the local economy, because we know right now many businesses are struggling as a result of some of the rules and regulations around COVID-19 and social distancing. Lewisham Council was one of the first local authorities in the UK to declare a climate emergency. And the local plan will work in partner with our climate change action plan to help respond to this. We need an updated suite of policies which reflect the current and latest thinking on good quality and sustainable design. As well, it's vital, as I mentioned before, that we need to deliver on the aspirations of our communities. And this public consultation is part of it to help us understand what everyone would like to see in the borough and what our aspirations are for the future. Meeting Lewisham's needs as London grows is quite critical. This is not only for genuinely affordable housing, but also for infrastructure, including the Baker-Loo line, which the council continues to advocate for its delivery to help tackle deprivation and some of the root causes of inequality in the borough. and the other types of infrastructure that are needed to support growth, public open spaces, and other types of facilities. We're still at a relatively early stage in the local plan process, and it's critical to note that your feedback at this stage of the public consultation will be used to inform revisions to the draft local plan, which is just a set of proposals at this stage. Once we amend the plan, taking into account the feedback we have received now, we will go through another round of public consultation on the revised plan. Following that public consultation, we will then submit the plan to the Secretary of State for independent public examination. And at that point, an inspector will weigh up the plan against the legislation and critically the tests of soundness embedded in national planning policy and tests of legal compliance, which are there to ensure that the council has been following the right procedures in terms of the plan making process. Subject to the plan being found sound at examination, the council will then be in a position to adopt the plan. Currently, we're targeting summer or autumn 22 for this to happen, at which point the policies would have full force for the purpose of planning decisions. It doesn't stop with adoption, however. We then move on to implementation of the planning policies. Then we monitor the effectiveness of the policies in delivering on the key objectives and the vision for Lewisham. We publish reports annually through the annual monitoring report process, which reflects on how we are doing in terms of the implementation. And where we find that policies perhaps aren't achieving their intended outcomes, we're then in a position to review them. And we may consider updating the plan or parts of the plan where we think that's necessary. We really are encouraging everyone at this stage to let us know what they think about the plan proposals. Nothing is fixed in stone. There's a key opportunity here for everyone to have their say on the proposals and how they want the future of Lewisham to be. We strongly encourage everyone to visit our planning consultation portal at lewishamlocalplan.commonplace.is, but you can also email us at the details there, or alternatively by post. But we would strongly recommend using the electronic forms at this stage, given the current situation around COVID-19 and some of the issues that have been encountered around post. The consultation closes on 11th April 2021, so please take the opportunity now to have your say, and we hope you enjoy the online sessions if you are registered for those.